Hello and welcome to a new video. In today's video, we're going to take a look at Spidops, and this Pokemon is amazing. You know it already, this Pokemon is one of the strongest movesets for the charge moves that you can have. The fast move is amazing, and also this Pokemon has quite a lot of bulk. The only big issue with this Pokemon is basically the typing itself. Bug typing itself isn't really considered to be the best of them all, but still this Pokemon has definitely a lot of play in the GO Battle League meta. So far, we don't have the greatest IVs, and this is going to be something that's going to change today as well. I want to make the video already around, I guess like 8 hours ago at this point, but I couldn't get a raid really for ages until it was like 2 AM in my morning, and I didn't really want to do then a video again. So now we're here, and I will try to make yet another video towards Spidops for now the next upcoming Cup as well, because I do think that this Pokemon is going to be absolutely amazing for that one as well, for the Jungle Cup. And this Pokemon is generally just absolutely amazing. Look at this, we were able to nearly completely destroy them there. In comes the Danny, and we're going to be able to farm them down with our Shadow Torterra. Shadow Torterra is quite a cool Pokemon for this team, I liked it a lot, and I did climb, by the way, quite a bit with this team. This team, you most likely kinda know already though. This is basically my legend team, but I kinda upgraded in several positions. We're going to have here, of course, the lead of the day that stayed the same. I had as a Say-Sub third. I have now Spidops. I do think that third maybe was a bit more neutral though, but Spidops absolutely was fitting in perfectly into this team. Because the main idea of the Say-Sub is to bait out Pokemon like a Talonflame. What you have with Spidops is you have the coverage of Rock Tomb, which is going to allow you to hit Pokemon like Talonflame for super effective damage, which is absolutely fantastic. So, and then the other update is I had Lorenz in the back, but here we're going to have Torterra. I had yesterday a coaching session with someone as well, and they didn't have Torterra. They didn't actually have Torterra either, but they didn't have the Lorenzes, and we just played instead the Toadscroll, which also helped out in quite a lot of matchups. I like Torterra though more than the Toadscroll because you have a little bit more fast move pressure with this Pokemon, which can allow you to win some battles in the 2-sheet scenario with it, and especially as a closer, I think it's a very, very cool Pokemon. As well as you're going to have just more charge move pressure here with those frenzy plants. And we're going to see here already what kind of difference this makes, because against that third, we're going to be able to go for the near KO here. Now the full farm now with Spidops. Spidops is going to have a resisted fast move here in Shadow Claw, but we're going to be able to go for the full farm down here. More Pecker is coming in, showing maybe for the lunge instead, but a Rock Tomb is going to be enough anyway, and we can move on to the next opponent, where we will face the Shadow Annihilate in the lead. This is going to be a Pokemon that we just have to stay in and go for the Parabolic Charge again. This is a fantastic matchup for this team so far, because we're going to have the resistance in the lead, we're going to be able to outspeed them with the lead, we're going to have the fast move pressure on the Say-Sub position there, so like it is going to be the right matchup. But as you can see here, they're very likely going to invest 2 shields into this Pokemon, which now allows us here to invest a shield into our Spidops, which is fine. But we're also going to have now the shield advantage for Torterra, which could come in clutch later on. But here we're going to be able to reach out for a lunge against the opponent's third. Third is going to be a very solid answer to Spidops, to be fair, because of the fast move pressure not being there on our side. Swift is coming through, not doing enough to knock us out, or coming even close to that. We should be even able to survive another one, and I'm going to try to keep my energy here as well for later on. As now I can go into my Dedenne, I can use a shield here as well if I want to, and I could try to get rid of the third here as well, or whatever wants to stop in afterwards, but I can go just for the player of knock them out. I'm now in a 1 counter range from the opponent, but I have a lot of energy as well, still on a Spidops, so like I feel still quite alright with the situation we're in. I can go into my Spidops, the opponent stops out into the Azumarill, and I'm going to be forced to stop straight into my Torterra here. Because they have Ice Beam, but we're going to be able to outspeed them if we stop straight. The Frenzy Plant is coming through. This is going to be enough to get the KO against the Azumarill, and with that, we are going to be able to get the farm down done as well against the Annihilate, right? Let's see. Do they knock us out? It's going to be close. Rage Fist is going to be enough to knock us out, but Spidops is, even with those bad IVs, able to knock them out. And this is something that is going to be, in my opinion, quite different later on when we're going to try out this Pokemon again. This Pokemon is spawning in, the wild. This Pokemon is going to be spawning as well from those mossy lures, I think. But yeah, basically Spidops is going to be a Pokemon that really, I think, wants to have good IVs. Why? This is generally the case with a very bulky Pokemon. If you have a bulky Pokemon, having good IVs is really important. Like basically, the Spidops that I have here is gonna be so much worse compared to the Spidops that I'm also gonna get very soon, because like you can get it in the wild. That means you're going to be able to get good PvP IVs, but you're going to have quite a lot of bulk missing by having that much attack. And for example, I just brought it in here as well for the one-shot scenario against the current top meta. There's going to be already a lot of shifts. We're going to win 3 more matchups straight away, or like 5 more matchups actually total straight away with the Spidops in the one-shot scenario, just if you have better IVs. And that's going to be something that generally is going to be super important for this Pokemon. You need to have good IVs for it, because IVs matter more when it's about bulk. Here this Pokemon is a lot about bulk, especially with the potential debuffs onto the opponents. It just even matters more. And basically, this Pokemon is going to perform completely different again towards what we currently see here, as soon as this is going to have the bulk that you kind of want to have on it. Of course, I just want to showcase it early, but trust me, I'm going to showcase it later again for the other league with a very good IVs. As long as I'm going to get those, but I'm quite confident I'm going to be able to get some good IVs for this Pokemon, because I hear it's not really the most rarest Pokemon there. It's a Route 1 Pokemon basically in Paldea, but it's such a good Pokemon for the GO Battle League, it is ridiculous. Like for example, with the extra defense on it, you're going to be able to beat something like an Altaria, you're going to be able to beat something like even like a Blastoise, even though Blastoise does super effective fast move damage against you. You're going to be able to beat something like a Primeape, a Togekiss, a Greninja. Those are the matchups that you're going to be able to then win. And so it makes actually a lot of sense to have better IVs on the Spidops. But also, fun fact for this one, if you are playing this in the Zero Shields, having attack investment actually going to allow you to win 5 extra matchups, which is kind of funny. So yeah, that's going to be kind of it for the comparison here. But let's take a look here again at the gameplay a bit. We're going to have here the Blastoise, which are going to be able to weaken a bit, and it's going to allow us now to put them also into parabolic charge range, which is going to be fantastic for our Dedenne. And so we are going to be able to just go ahead and go for the parabolic charge against this Pokemon after farming up a little bit extra energy. This is going to knock them out easily, and in comes the Toedscool. Toedscool will go down to this play rough, and so all of a sudden the opponent only has 1 Pokemon left, which is going to be sadly the Shadow Bastion here. If we would have went for counter on the Spidops, which is something I want to take a look at as well, eventually at least, this Pokemon would have been able to definitely destroy the Bastion here, but like this, we just don't really have a good answer to this Pokemon, and with it, we are sadly going to lose this battle. As you're gonna see as well, we're still gonna be able to go for another move, but it is what it is. And honestly, I do think that counter actually would have been very good on Spidops in a lot of cases. There were a lot of times where third came in, because like you're gonna bait out normal type Pokemon and rock type Pokemon with a Pokemon like this, Shadow Clone that's a bug type. So I do think that actually counter has a lot of potential on this Pokemon, like literally, like there's so much potential that this Pokemon would have with this move. But as you can see here, we're going to have the Chargebug against an Elite. Who do you play against Chargebug with this team? You want to go for the Parabolic Charge straight away with your Dedenne. Why? Because you're going to be able to usually win this matchup here, but you're going to take a lot of damage in the process. And as you guys see here, the opponent decides to stop it afterwards anyway, so it doesn't really apply to it then. But you need to have basically a 1 Parabolic Charge plus 1 Play Rough in order to knock out a Chargebug. And so here we're going to go up against the third now. We can go for the Parabolic Charge. They decide to use a shield. That's fine by me. I could even shield up here and try to force more. I'm going to shield and try to force more shields from the opponent. Let's see. Parabolic Charge is coming in. I would be even able to align myself if I really wanted to, but let's see. We're going to have here the Parabolic Charge knocking them out. That's cool. In comes Superior. I'm trying my best to go for a Play Rough. I can go for a Play Rough. Like, literally, I just don't take damage from them, really. That's really cool for us. And so now we have to align our Spidops. I'm of course a bit worried about the potential of Aerial Ace, but even though we don't have the IVs that we want, we can still take 2 Aerial Aces from this Pokemon. I'm still going to invest the shield here, just in case though, because we kind of need to. Aerial Ace coming through, and we're going to be able to keep a bit of energy for later on, because what my goal is I have to go for the launch against the Superior. There's no other way of me winning this battle. And I'm gonna knock out here real quick at the opponent Chargebug while getting a bit of an extra energy advantage here with the Sand Tombs, because I'm not too sure if the launch is going to be enough. I'm thinking it's not, but with the Sand Tomb, the debuff onto them, and the extra damage here from the Totera, it might just be enough to knock out the opponent Superior. This should definitely be in range for that. Launch is coming through, we win the CMP tie, also maybe because of our IVs, but we're gonna be able to knock them out and we can move on to the next opponent. We will face one of the worst possible leads for this team. Again, imagine we would have had access to the fast move of counter. All of a sudden, this would be a very positive matchup for us. But nonetheless, we're going to be able to fight back here a little bit with our Spidops, because honestly, Spidops is so neutral against so many Pokemon that I don't actually think that there is a matchup where you don't have any play. Like, there's always going to be some play for Spidops, which is kind of cool. As, yeah, what are the weaknesses of Bug-type Pokemon? It's going to be flying, it's going to be fire. Those two, you're going to be able to just go ahead and go for those Rock Tombs. I guess the worst matchup for your Spidops is going to be literally the Bastion. That's going to be the worst one that you can have. And it's such a good Pokemon to have, by the way. Like, Spidops is such a good Pokemon to have. Currently, like, I was only able to get one through raids, which I guess you can imagine by the IVs there as well. But, yeah, I can't wait to have a good one of it. I can't wait to have a good one of it, because I think it's going to be such a good Pokemon to run for later on as well. But as you can see here, there is going to be now, yeah, basically the Scorching Sands coming in. We're going to try our best to go for here the Phantom against the opponent. They're going to go for the Altaria. And this is going to be awkward, because now we're going to have to use a forfeit there, because we don't have anything to hit them anymore. Annihilate is coming in here next. We're going to go ahead and go for the Parabolic Charge spam. Parabolic Charge is coming through. This is going to allow us to get damage up against a Belly Bolt. That's not really what we wanted to have, but that's alright. We're going to be able to go for the full farm run against the opponent. And as we will see here as well, there is going to be now the Annihilate coming back in. I am going to be able to go for the Sand Tomb. This is perfectly fine. This is going to allow us to get the shield, and we're going to be able to pressure them even more with our fast moves. And so we can invest the shield here. This is going to allow us to even get more Mud Slap damage in against the opponent. And this is like why I like Torterra so much more compared to Pokemon like Toadsquirrel. Torterra is way more offensive in terms of what it can do. It has so much more pressure with both a charge move as well as fast move on this thing here. Of course, Toadsquirrel is great at taking hits, but Torterra is great at destroying Pokemon. And I'm rather destroying Pokemon than taking hits, to be fair. As you can see here, there's going to be just a Wicked Tough left. We have our Dedenne. We just need to go for one charge move, and we are going to be able to win this battle here, and this is going to be fine. As you can see here, we're going to be able to go for another charge move there as well, and yeah, we're going to be able to move on to the next opponent. Let's take a look here at the next opponent coming up. We're going to be able to go ahead and go for the Parabolic Charge against the opponent. This is going to be fine. This is going to allow us to get, yeah, hopefully another shield up here. It's going to be the Rage Fist coming through. It's going to be interesting here now, because we're going to have to go for yet another Parabolic Charge. This is going to go up against a Magcargo. They try to catch the move, but not with us, because what we have here is we're going to have one nice answer. We're going to have the Torterra to farm them down in time. Of course, we took a little bit of damage here, but basically nothing major. And now we have even a ton of energy on our Torterra in order to win this battle, as we will see here as well. We're going to have the Phantom coming in. This is going to be up against the Corviknight. That's not ideal. The Corviknight is not ideal for us. This is absolutely not where we want to have this Torterra. Air Cut is coming through, but we actually still get this Frenzy Plant off. I do think it's a better match, like, move to go for the Frenzy Plant, even though it is, like, it definitely is a better move. That did way more damage than I expected. Anyway, we have Spidops here. We can take a hit. We're gonna be able to go for the nearly even farm down. Let's see what they're gonna do here. I am going to be able to just go for the full farm run against the opponent. Invest the shield here. I wouldn't see Pitta against the Corviknight, guaranteed. Corviknight definitely has more bulk than I do. And I just have to go for the Rock Tomb spam. And I go for an extra fast move that was quite risky. But to be fair, with the bulk of Spidops, I would assume, and I would have never been able to survive that hit. But as you can see here, the opponent has to forfeit kinda. And we're gonna move on to the next opponent. Let's see on how this is gonna go. There's going to be the Bastion against the lead, and while my Sasop is going to be weak to it, actually Dedenne is going to be able to win against Bastion in a lot of scenarios, so it's not the worst matchup. But to be fair, this matchup kind of changed a little bit in the favor of Bastion this season, as Bastion got an attack update basically where the fast moves just do a little bit more damage. And here in comes the Torterra now. We're going to be able to go for the Lunge. Lunge is going to do some super effective damage in order to pressure the opponent, but they decided to use a shield, which kind of makes me believe they might run Stone Edge on their Torterra, especially with the lead of the Bastion. And as you can see, the opponent is going to be able to go for the Stone Edge, but we can shield up, or we can go for the Lunge, and we are going to be able to now do a lot of damage, or basically get the shield here as they swap out into their own Bastion, allowing me to swap into my own Torterra to go for the full farm down. Could have went for the Sand Tomb, but I kind of rather want to keep the energy because I know I still survive a Flamethrower from Bastion, and now I have the Frenzy Plant stored for whatever wants to come in next. I hope it's not going to be a Corviknight. I assume it's going to be Toadsquirrel in the back, In comes here Tropius, though. That is going to be bad. That is going to be a double resistant move coming up their way, and they're going to farm me down. So, how can I still win this? The answer is Spidops? I have to hope they still survive the city here. Sandtomb is coming through. They don't even run Frenzy Plan. They run Sandtomb plus the move of Stone Edge. That's quite interesting. Lunch is going to be able to get the KO here, but I still have to knock them out there. I have to still get to another Rock Tomb. Yeah, I do get to another Rock Tomb. Spidops showcasing in what it can do. We get so much damage onto them. Player off is coming through. This is going to allow us to get that KO. And this is going to be it for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, feel free to leave a like. And I will see you then. Bye-bye.